City Hamilton cares about you and your family. We encourage Hamilton residents to drink water straight from their tap. However, homes built before 1955, there is a risk of lead in your tap water. We hope that this video offers you some tips how to identify if you have a lead water service. Your remote meter, located on the outside of the house, will usually help you identify where the meter is located in the basement. If it's on the side of the house, usually the meter is located on that particular side. In most cases, your water meter is located in the basement or the crawl space. Once you've identified where the water service comes through the wall or the floor, you want to do a visual of the service type. So before us here, we have 5 different types of water services that can come into your home. Here before us, it's copper. So as you can see, it's bronzy in color. Sometimes through age and oxidization, it will discolor and it will turn brownish green. So if you're not certain if it is copper, a scratch test would be required for this one here. This one here is the PVC plastic service. This here usually doesn't oxidize or discolor. This here you can do a visual test, and if you notice that it is blue in color, this is also safe and this is not lead. So this here is our concern. This is actually the lead service. As you can see now, it's dull in color, and this would probably, if you've seen this color, it would probably require a scratch test. This also here is 1/2-inch alloy lead, and you can see it's very dull, and you can also, if you notice it's dull in color like this and this size, you should also conduct a scratch test. When it comes to galvanized pipe though, most of the time if it's been there for a very long time, it will be very rusty and brown in color. You won't be able to tell or do a visual test with this. This definitely you'll have to do a scratch test. When we do the scratch test, we'd like to do something that is dull in surface. As a coin, we prefer to use a loonie. Reason being is that we don't want to use a knife. We don't recommend that because we don't want you to injure yourself, or there's a potential that you might cut the service and will have a leak. You want to do the scratch test right on this part of the water service. It's coming from the wall, and it's actually between the main valve and the wall. You do not want to do the scratch test on this part of the section of the water service. In order to do the scratch test, you must be very careful how you handle the meter and the water service. Some of these services are very old and very fragile. So to start off, when we do a scratch test on copper, and we like to use a dull surface, just slightly scratch the copper. And when it starts to become nice and shiny and you can identify the color, this is very bright and bronzy, this is definitely copper. Another way to identify that it is copper, you can just hit it with the coin. It's a tingy sound, and that will definitely tell you it's copper, because lead, you'll see when I do it, it does not give the same sound. When it comes to PVC plastic services, usually the visual test will be sufficient and you don't have to conduct a scratch test. And here before us, we have an actual lead service line. This one, you know, when you come across this dull look, you definitely want to do the scratch test. So gently scratch the service, and as you can see, when you scratch it, it becomes nice and shiny and it's silver metallic. This is definitely lead service. This is lead alloy service. This one also you can do a scratch test, but be very careful when you do the scratch test for this type of material. It's very brittle, so don't handle it in a way that you want to move it around a lot. So basically just slightly scratch the surface again. It will become, as you can see, silver metallic, shiny. This is lead also. This here is galvanized pipe. This here, if you find in a home, it will be rusty in color, completely brown. This also, you can do the scratch test and it will be brown. And when you come across this silver metallic color, you might think that this is lead, but it's not. In a way to identify whether it's not lead, you can just bang it and you'll hear it ting, as when you have lead, it's a much different sound, it's dull noise.
If you feel uncomfortable in doing the scratch test or still can't determine the type of service it is, please feel free to call the City of Hamilton and book an appointment, and we can come to your home and do an inspection for you.